Every coach on the internet is telling you the exact same thing right now. Post more content, post better content, build a massive audience, and then the clients will show up. And that sounds great, but for the last 18 months, I've been doing the exact opposite. And it's working. Here's what was happening to me before I figured all this out. I was posting daily and sometimes twice a day, every day a week. And views were going off the charts, sometimes 30 million a month, which sounds crazy. DMs were coming in about, I love your video, and comments were saying, this is so helpful, thank you so much for this. But when I looked at my bank account, it was the exact same as 6 months earlier. Sound familiar? So I went back and tested the whole sales flow piece by piece, hunting for what the actual leak was, because it didn't really make sense, at least not in the beginning. Turns out the leak wasn't content. Content was doing just fine, and it was working. The leak was a missing mechanism that sits in between content and the sale. A mechanism almost nobody talks about, and it's called hand raisers. The last campaign I ran with a specific hand raiser in mind that I'm going to show you later generated a $1 to $92 return on spend. Spent about $150 in sending emails and generated around $14,000 in subscriber revenue. And that was with no ads, no sales calls, no funnels, just one Instagram story, 5 emails, and a payment link. And here's the bit that broke my brain a little bit. It was the same offer that I had been offering for the previous 3 months. The offer didn't really do much of the heavy lifting. It was actually the hand raiser. So in the next 12 or so minutes, I'll show you the 3 exact steps to making a hand raiser work so that the content that you're already posting starts producing inquiries every single week instead of just random months. Because if your content's been getting views but no clients, you're going to want to dig into this one. And I'll be upfront about this. I'm not perfect with this by any means, and there's certainly more people making way more money than I am. But 5 years ago, I was stuck under 10K a month, and it was absolutely doing my head in. I was doing all the right stuff, following all the right advice from all the gurus online, and nothing was moving the needle. So if you're in that spot right now, I get it. I've been there, but we're about to fix it. Here's what most coaches do with their content right now, and it comes in 3 flavors, and all 3 are broken in the same way. Flavor 1 is post and hope. Reel after reel, story after story, sometimes bangers, and even content that gets watched a lot, liked, shared, saved, commented on, validated by the algorithm. But there's no exit point, no clear next step for the person that views it to follow. Every post just trails off into the void, and you sit there wondering why it's not turning into clients, because you're following the advice of give away all the free value and the people will come. Spoiler alert, views don't pay bills. Clients do, and clients don't fall out of content on accident. Flavor 2 is the asshole. It's the opposite extreme, all the way down the other end. Every single story has apply here, book a call. Every single post has apply for more info. Here's my program, give me money. And there's no warm up, no middle ground, no foreplay, just a wall. And the viewer is being asked to climb it on the first date. And that doesn't work either. Sending a stranger from a 15-second reel to anything even remotely inclined of asking them for money, even if it's a sales call or if it's a DM chat, is like handing somebody an engagement ring before the entree of the first date's finished. Pull the brakes, buddy. And flavor 3, the deepest one, sell, sell, sell. Most coaches genuinely believe that the only job of content is to sell somebody. So you cram every single reel with proof, CTA, a case study, urgency, social validation, all jammed into 30 seconds. And that's not content, that's a panic attack with subtitles, and it smells like commission breath. And trust me, the viewer doesn't like it one bit. All 3 fail for the same structural reason. There's no hand raiser at all. There's no simple, obvious, low friction moment where they can put their hand up and say, hey, I want to learn more about this. What's the next step? Where the right person can say, yep, that's me. I want more. Without that, content has nowhere to send anybody. And the views go up and the DMs and comments say, this is good, this is useful. And the bank account stays the exact same. So here's the shift. The old way used to look a little something like this. You would watch a video, you would go to an application page where they would skim your info for retargeting later. Then you were prompted to book a really pushy and manipulative sales call, and then you would earn money off the back of that. And that is one giant leap from I just discovered this person in a 15 or a 30-second reel. I don't know if I like them. I don't know if I trust them. To I'm handing over my credit card and giving them money. And that used to work in 2018 when information was really scarce. But now the landscape has completely changed and it no longer works. The buyer's changed, the trust gap is a lot wider than it used to be, and the internet is a lot louder because creating content has never been easier, which means it's easier to get drowned out. But it's also easier to stand out if you do the right things. The new way looks like this. You've got content, hand raiser, lead magnet, email sequence, offer doc, then the sale. 5 steps, and each of them are a lot smaller than the old way of doing things. It promotes a very small jump in between each individual segment, not a giant leap from start to finish, where your ideal customer can easily go boop, 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 without a lot of friction or feeling like they're being sold to or a bunch of manipulation. And they're being walked through the process every step of the way instead of shoved off a cliff where you're saying, give me your card and pay me money. And here's the bit that nobody talks about because each of these small steps has a very specific job. Content's job is to find the right people and speak their language. The hand raiser's job is to filter them so that it's only the right people that go to the next step. The lead magnet's job is to earn their inbox and their contact information. The sequencer's job is to build a bunch of know, like, and trust. And the offer doc's job is the thing that now closes. 5 jobs, 5 different mechanisms. Now, to save you from spending 3 hours with me, we don't have enough time to go through everything today. The one thing we're going to really dive deep on is the hand raiser framework right here. Because most of you guys are producing content, you've got a sales mechanism. This is the big leak. So before I show you how to build one, let me show you the exact one that got that $1 to $92 in return on email spend. I keep going to say return on ad spend, but I didn't run any ads. It was just a story and some emails. So this is exactly what I posted to Instagram. And if you read it with me, you'll start to get an idea as to what a good hand raiser looks like. If you're a white or blue belt and you want to stop getting smashed in the next 90 days, even if you're a slow learner, unathletic, and don't have much time to study, the Stop Getting Smashed Challenge closes today. 14 out of 25 spots are already filled. Reply challenge below to get in. And a cool photo with me in pink Crocs with Ilya Tapuria. That's it. That's the single story post that I made about this. But look at what's actually doing the lifting here. Line 1 is calling out the exact person. Not all grapplers, not everybody who's thought about doing jiu-jitsu or tried jiu-jitsu, just white and blue belts who are sick of getting smashed every single time they step on the mats. And as soon as you read it, your brain locks on to whether that's for you or not. And if it's not for you, you skip past it, which is great because I'm not offering anything to people that aren't these people. Line 2. Handles the objections before they can even become a problem. I like to use the analogy here where you're taking the magazine out of the gun, flicking all the bullets on the floor, putting it back in, and then giving it to them. So even if they try to pull the trigger, nothing comes out. It's already been dealt with before they can even raise it as a concern later on. And in jiu-jitsu specifically, it's I don't have a lot of time to study. What if I'm slow or unathletic or my training partners are bigger, stronger, faster than me? And I'm a slow learner. Will this still work for me? Or in other words, it's the 3 biggest reasons as to why somebody reading this wouldn't think that it would work for them. And it kills it in a simple sentence. Line 3 is the deadline, which was real. It wasn't made up. It closed on the 29th of May. Line 4 was scarcity, which was a real number, and I already had 14 people join the challenge through the email sequence, so there was only 11 spots left that this story needed to convert. And line 5 was easy next step. It wasn't apply now or book a call or jump on a Zoom meeting where I'm going to sell you all my shit and be manipulative. Just reply one word, super simple. The little text box is already down there and I made it easy. Right challenge. Sometimes if you make them too hard to spell, people spell the wrong thing and you'd be surprised at the spelling mistakes that I've seen. Make it an easy word. The shorter the better. Maybe 3, 5 letters, depending on your niche, of course. And when the right person read this post, it didn't leave them with a feeling of, I should consider this. They thought, that's me. I'm interested in finding exactly what this is and how it can help me. I'm just going to type the word in and see. Which is all I needed. Once they did, the system took over. They get the offer doc, and the offer doc does the closing for me. But this is the bit that nobody sees. Everybody wants the offer hack, like the magical words that you can say to people that just makes them go, boop, boop. Everyone wants the CTA hack, like the perfect structure. The actual leverage point is one step earlier, and it's whether the right person ever raised their hand. If they didn't, no offer in the world is going to save you. And if they did, the offer almost can't lose. The offer doc didn't convert cold traffic because they weren't the right people coming through the door. It converted the hand raisers. You picking up what I'm putting down? So when I first sit down with a coach inside Content That Converts, we have to look at what their hand raiser formula is doing and where it's struggling. And I only ever look for 3 key things. And they're all S's, so it's easy to remember. Sharp, small, steady. Sharp is the framing. Does the right person feel seen immediately upon reading what you've written? Small is the right next step. Is it small enough and low friction enough to get those people to do this? And steady is about the rhythm. Does the audience learn the pattern so that they know when to raise their hand or not? Most coaches have none of these. A few have one, but almost nobody runs all 3. When you get all 3 of these locked in, the content that you're already posting starts getting the right people to raise their hand every single week instead of your months looking like this. Let's do a breakdown of each one. First is sharp, and this is where 80% of hand raisers end up going to die. Have a look at the bad versions first, and I'm sure you've seen these. Click for more info. DM me yes if you'd like to chat. DM me call if you want to book a time. Drop a comment if this resonates. Ugh. Sound familiar? It should, because everybody is doing the same shit. I'm sure you've seen a ton of them already. They're not hand raisers. They're what I like to call shrugs, because nobody knows if they're the right person, and nobody wants to publicly admit that they need help. And more info doesn't create urgency for anybody that reads it. Nobody wants more information. Now go back and read mine step by step. If you're a white or a blue belt that wants to stop getting smashed in the next 90 days, the first 6 words name the exact person, the belt level, the pain, and the time frame. By the end of one small sentence, the right person knows exactly who it's for and that it's for them, and everybody else just goes to the next story. The test I run inside my case study group is dead simple. Read your hand raiser to a stranger, probably your parents or your sister or somebody that you can read to. And within 5 seconds, can they tell you who it's for, what problem does it solve, and what they're being asked to do? If the answer is no to any of these, it's beige, it's gross, redo it. And here's the bit that most coaches miss, because that level of specificity isn't narrowing your reach. It's filtering for the people who are actually going to pay you for what you do. Everyone else can keep scrolling because you don't want them anyway. Not all views are the right views. The second S is small, and this is where most coaches get the framing right, but then they fumble the next step. You write a sharp hand raiser, but then you point it to an apply page or a Calendly link or a sales page with pricing tiers. It's way too big of a jump, because somebody who's just raised their hand is saying yes to a micro decision, not a massive leap. Because the job of a hand raiser is to get a yes at the cheapest possible cost. Not just money, by the way, because all these are free, but time. A comment, a keyword, a scorecard, an audit, a 2-minute video. Something that takes a couple of minutes and then gives them immediate value for free. Not a book a call page or an apply link. Go back and look at my hand raiser again, and the only thing I asked them to do, if that was the right fit for them, was comment a word. Not click this link, not fill out this form, not jump on the phone. Just one word in a DM. And then from that small yes, they get the challenge details, which come in the form of a doc. If they read it and they confirm that that's exactly who they are and what they need and it solves their problem, then they can go to the payment link. But do you see how each step earns the next step? You don't just throw it all at them at once. And skipping steps is why good content produces 0 clients. The rule I run for this step is ask for the cheapest yes that somebody can possibly give you to earn the right next step. Don't just jump to the end. The third S is steady, and almost nobody gets this right. And it's the cheapest and the easiest one to fix. There are 2 failure modes that this one usually goes through. Number 1 is they run it every single chance they get. And the second one is they do it as a one-off. The first guy does the same CTA under every single post and every single story. So within the next 7 to 14 days, their audience has already tuned it out completely. Yeah, the initial uptake might be good, but then it slowly drops off within a week or two. And the second person runs the hand raiser once, panics that nobody's commenting and never does it ever again for fear of being embarrassed. And the audience in both of these two spectrums never learns the rhythm or the cadence. The right person is never given an opportunity to raise their hand. The fix sits between both of those two extremes, where it's a hand raiser every 3 to 4 pieces of content or simply once a week. Same keyword, same destination, but it's a predictable rhythm. And the reason this works is because humans are pattern recognition machines. The first time someone sees your hand raiser, they probably ignore it. The second time, they notice it. And the third time, they remember it. But the fourth time is when the problem is finally biting them hard enough that they decide to raise their hand and fix the problem. That cadence is called a campaign rhythm, and it's part of a much bigger picture, but this is the hand raiser segment. Each week we run reels on pain, philosophy, proof, and plan. Each of those videos gets a distinct angle that it starts to view the problem through. That way you can hit the right person through a couple of different methods and speak to them the exact way that they like to be spoken to based on the 4 different pathways that are going on. And that's what steady looks like. So here's the line that I want you to walk away with. Content's job is to find the right people. The hand raiser's job is to filter. The sequencer's job is to convince. The offer doc's job is to close. 4 jobs, 4 different mechanisms. Most coaches are asking their content to do all 4 at once, and then you sit there thinking why it's working in every single way except the one you care about, which is paying you. The coaches who are making 20 grand a month consistently, they don't make better content than you. They just stopped asking their content to do a job that was never built to do. All right, quick recap. The reason your content's getting views but no buyers isn't the content. It's the missing piece between the content and the offer, and that mechanism is a hand raiser. 3 S's make it work. Number 1, sharp. Frame it so specifically that the right person knows that it's exactly for them. Beige hand raisers get ignored and sharp hand raisers get hands. Number 2 is small, and it has to be a frictionless and low effort next step. Not jump to a payment link, not jump to a 30-minute call, not jump to an apply page, but something so simple that they could do it in 2 seconds without even thinking about it. Like comment this word below. Number 3 is steady. Have it at a steady pace. Don't do it once and then forget about it forever because you're embarrassed that no one opted in. And don't do it every single day and turn out like an arsehole because your audience is going to get the shits. 1 every week or 1 every 4 reels that you post on average. Fix those things and the content that you're already posting will start producing clients on the back end. Right now, you've got the hand raiser piece down pat, but you need the part that closes once the hand raiser's done its job properly. If you want to know exactly how to build that offer, click the first link in the description below so that you can figure out the exact framework of how I build an offer that will then convert the people that the hand raiser brings in. And you probably want to do it now because it's the exact next step from the hand raiser. Catch you in the next one.